Okay, picture this. You're in the grocery store, staring at two bags of brown powder. One says organic cacao, and wow, it's expensive. Right next to it, a can of 100% cocoa for way less. You've heard that cacao is supposed to be this amazing superfood, right? But is it really that different? Is that price tag justified, or is this all just really smart marketing?
So, what's the real difference between cacao and cocoa? Let's unpack this whole thing together. By the end of this explainer, you are going to know exactly what you're buying, why it matters for your health, and, most importantly, how to read those labels like a pro.
All right, first things first, we have to solve this little language puzzle. Where in the world did these two nearly identical words even come from? The answer actually tells us a whole lot about how we got here.
And what's so wild when you look at this is that for hundreds of years, there was no difference at all. It all started with the Mayan word cacao. Then Spanish explorers changed it to cacao, and then somewhere along the line, English speakers just messed it up. Probably a typo or a mispronunciation, and boom, the word cocoa was born. So yeah, cocoa is really just the English version of cacao.
And this right here drives the point home. Both words, cacao and cocoa, come from the exact same plant, the Theobroma cacao tree, which has this beautiful name that means food of the gods. Every single chocolate product out there starts its life from this one tree. So, if the name isn't the real story, what is?
Well, this brings us to the real difference, the thing that actually matters, the thing that changes everything. From the flavor to the health benefits, is all about what happens to the bean after it's picked from the tree. It is all about the processing.
See, every single bean goes on a pretty similar journey at first. They're harvested, they're fermented to start developing those delicious chocolatey flavors, and then they're dried. But I want you to look closely at step 3, roasting. This, right here, is the critical fork in the road. How hot you roast that bean, or if you even roast it at all, is what creates the massive split between what we call cacao and cocoa.
And that split creates three main products that you'll find on the shelf. First, you've got raw cacao. It's either unroasted or just barely heated, which keeps all its nutrients intact but gives it a more bitter, intense flavor. Second, you have natural cocoa. This is roasted at high heat, and that's what gives you that classic, smooth chocolate flavor we all know and love. And third, there's Dutch processed cocoa. This stuff is not only roasted, it's then washed in an alkaline solution. This chemical bath basically neutralizes its acidity, making it darker and even smoother.
Now we're getting to the heart of it, right? This is probably why you're here. How do these different processing methods affect that superfood status we're all hoping to get? This is where that big trade-off between taste and health becomes crystal clear.
You know all those incredible health claims about chocolate? They're pretty much all thanks to these little compounds called flavonols. They are super powerful antioxidants, and they're linked to better blood flow, a healthier heart, even better brain function. But here's the catch. These amazing compounds are incredibly delicate. High heat and chemical treatments, they absolutely destroy them. They're also what makes less processed chocolate taste a little bitter.
And this chart, wow, it says it all. Raw cacao, because it's barely heated, keeps the highest level of flavonols by far. Roasting it to make natural cocoa causes a pretty big drop. But that Dutch processing method, that chemical wash we talked about, it can wipe out up to 90% of these beneficial compounds. 90%! You're left with a product that's just a shadow of what it started as health-wise.
And get this, it's not just about the antioxidants. Just take a look at the mineral content here. The less processed raw cacao powder packs a way bigger punch of essential minerals. We're talking way more magnesium, which is crucial for everything from muscle function to calming your nerves, plus a lot more iron and potassium compared to the roasted stuff. I mean, that is a huge difference.
Okay, but let's be real. It's not all sunshine and superfoods. To get the full picture, we have to talk about some of the potential downsides. No matter how it's processed, there are a few natural compounds in all cacao and cocoa products that you really should be aware of. So what do you need to watch out for? Well, all these products have natural stimulants like caffeine and theobromide, and if you have too much, they can definitely give you the jitters. They also have something called oxalates, which can be a concern for people who are prone to kidney stones. And here's one a lot of people don't know about. The cacao tree can actually pull heavy metals like lead and cadmium from the soil, which can then get concentrated in the powder. So, like with anything, moderation is definitely key.
So, you've got all this knowledge now. What do you do with it? How do you actually make the best choice the next time you're standing in that grocery aisle staring at the shelf? Let's turn all this information into a simple action plan.
All right, here's your cheat sheet.
The most important thing is this: completely ignore the word cacao or cocoa on the front of the package. Seriously, from a legal standpoint, it's pretty much meaningless. Instead, flip it over. Look for keywords in the description like natural, unprocessed, or non-alkalized. Make sure the ingredient list is super clean, no added sugars or weird stuff. And finally, just use your eyes. A lighter, kind of reddish-brown powder is probably natural. A really dark, almost black powder, that has almost certainly been Dutch processed.
So, there you have it. The mystery is solved. The next time you're shopping, you'll know that the whole cacao versus cocoa thing is mostly just marketing. The real value, the real story, is in the journey that bean has taken. The less it's been messed with, the more of that food of the gods goodness it's still got inside.
Hey, if you found this explainer helpful or inspiring, or even just a little bit entertaining and informative, please do us a huge favor and share it, like it, and subscribe to the channel. We'd really appreciate it. And be sure to watch for the next upload. Thanks for watching.